This video cable won't work with this monitor. What am I supposed to do? Oh. Now it works. In the intro to this video, I used an RCA to BNC connector to hook a game system that's supposed to be hooked up to a consumer TV. I hooked it up to a professional monitor instead. Professional monitors use BNC connectors. So adapters can come in handy when a device uses a different connector than what you have. In fact, I didn't just use that one adapter, I used 3 adapters when I shot that open. For the game audio, I ran an audio extension to my camera and I used an RCA Barrel Adapter for that. And my camera has XLR audio inputs, so I used an RCA to XLR adapter for that. I have a lot more adapters here, but with this tray, it's often hard for me to find what I need. So I found this at Harbor Freight with the little separate bins. I'm going to go through my adapters and organize them and tell you about what they can be used for as I go. Let's get started by just dumping this out. Now that's quite the mess, but we'll go through it. Basically anything with an XLR, I'm going to try to set aside here. XLR connectors are used in professional sound equipment. It uses 3 conductors, one of them being a ground, and this allows for a balanced signal that can travel longer distances than an unbalanced signal. All of these are XLR adapters in one form or another. This one's RCA to XLR. That is 1/4 inch to XLR. I believe 1/4 inch unbalanced to XLR. This is for a 3.5 inch mini plug to XLR. I use this one a lot on my camera. Let's get into this case. I'm definitely going to want to use one of the larger bins for the XLRs. How about this one right here? This is 1/4 inch TRS to mini plug TRS. These are often used for headphones. If I have one of the headphones with a 1/4 inch plug and I need to plug it into a phone or an iPod or something, I'm going to use this. And here's another one. Here's another one. I might change my mind. I'm going to use one of these size bins. Okay, I used to use these a lot. The reason why is I had a bunch of RCA cables, but I had a mixing board with 1/4 inch plugs. So RCA to 1/4 inch unbalanced was something that I collected. Let's see, there's another one, there's another one, here's another one, here's another one, there's another one, here's one. I'm going to go ahead and use one of these size bins because I know I have more of these. I'm going to keep finding more and more of these. Here's another one, here's another one. Yeah, I have a lot of these. And these aren't all of them. I have some of them hooked up to equipment right now. Alright, occasionally I need to go the other way from 1/4 inch to RCA. So I have a few of those as well. Not as many because it's not something that I need to do as frequently. These will probably work in this size bin. Okay, next up. I talked about headphone jacks that go from 1/4 inch to mini plugs, but really more often you need a mini plug to 1/4 inch. So that's what I'm digging out now. Here's one that is threaded. These are my favorite headphones, AKG K240DFs. They have a 3.5 millimeter mini plug, and as you can see, it's threaded. Well, this adapter is threaded, so you screw it on and then it won't come loose. So I think I might just leave this adapter on these headphones instead of putting them in the bin. Found another one of these and another one of those. Right here is another headphone adapter. Alright, if I find more, I'll put them in that bin. This almost looks like a headphone adapter, but it is just tip sleeve. There's no ring on it. So this is a 2-conductor, which means this will go from a 2-conductor mini plug to a 2-conductor 1/4 inch. So I want to keep this separate from the headphone adapters. There's another headphone adapter. Here's another small headphone adapter. The next thing I want to talk about are RCA barrel connectors. I often like these because it helps keep your cables organized. Basically, a lot of the times it's video, left channel audio, right channel audio, and these are perfect for that. But if you're just extending one RCA, then I'll use one of these type barrel connectors. But I'm going to keep all these together because they're all RCA barrel connectors. And there's probably some more. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in this bigger bin. I'm certain I have more of those. Have you ever seen someone sharing their headphone jack? Well, that's what this is. It's a headphone splitter, TRS, split into 2 TRS connections. And I have a few of these. Here's another one. Another thing you got to watch out for is sometimes they look very much like a stereo TRS to a TS left and a TS right. If it is one of those, then it'll have an L and an R on it. Neither of these have that, so I'm pretty sure those are just regular splitters. I don't have very many of these, so they could just go in this little one here. Mini jack to RCA, big headphone to small headphone. Here is another headphone splitter. 1/4 inch to RCA. I believe I've done those already. 1/4 inch to mini jack. RCA to mini plug. There's another barrel connector. All right, I'm gonna start pulling these cables out now. Now, I did a video about cables, but if a cable is this short, I don't normally consider it a cable. I consider it an adapter, and I keep it with the adapters. This is interesting. It's RCA female on one side, left, right, RCA male on the other. Let's say I have a mono audio signal and I want to run it into a DVD recorder. I might need to use something like this, or I'll just have audio running through one channel. This one has a female RCA jack and 2 male RCA plugs, and this one has a single RCA plug and 2 jacks, but I'm going to keep them together. Little short mini plug connectors can come in handy. Here's another big headphone to small headphone. S-Video keeps luminance and chroma separate on a video signal, and this converts it to a regular composite video signal. Oh, here is a S-Video barrel. I'll just keep it with that. Another big headphone to small headphone. All right, when an adapter gets to be looking like this, it will go in the garbage. All right, this one's interesting. This is a stereo TRS mini plug to 2 RCA outs, but they're not labeled left and right. So I'm wondering what's going to go on here, and I probably want to test this one with a multimeter and see what's going on with it. So I'm going to set that one aside. Here's another S-Video to composite, 3.5 mini plug to RCA. I believe this is another headphone splitter. At this point, headphone splitters are going to need a bigger box. Let's transfer the headphone splitters into that. This little adapter will do the same thing as this cable, but without the cord. You could use this as a splitter or a combiner. Okay, this is unusual. This is 2.5 millimeter plug. Sub mini, I don't know what they call them, 2.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter, and I don't have a lot of those, so I'm going to set it in a small bin. Here's another 2.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter. This goes the other way. It goes from 3.5 millimeter to 2.5 millimeter. I'll leave it with those. I'm not sure if this is a splitter or if it's going from TRRS to two separate TRSs. I'll have to test this out to see what it's doing. This is interesting because it doesn't have any plastic on it, but it's RCA to 1/4 inch. Back in the old days when you bought a receiver, it would have a loop on the back that you would maybe put an equalizer or a tape deck or something. And what this did is it just closed off that loop. But they're basically tiny little RCA connectors. You can think of these kind of as the male equivalent of a barrel connector. So I'll put them near the barrel connectors. Speaking of, here's two more barrel connectors. Okay, this one is definitely TRS stereo to left and right, and it's labeled as such, the white being the left and the red being the right. Here's another one. Okay, I showed you the mini version. Here is the 1/4 inch version of a TRS stereo to two RCAs left and right. Here is a piece of an adapter that's broken. It goes in the garbage. You see jacks that are barrel connectors a lot, but you don't see them that are male on both sides very often, so this is kind of unique. I think it's the only one I have. Right here is a BNC barrel connector. Let's say your BNC cable is not long enough. Well, that'll let you hook another one up to it. I'm going to keep it with the RCA to BNC connectors. Alright, this is stereo to two jacks instead of plugs. These come in handy a lot. Another barrel connector, another headphone adapter, like a pair barrel connector. That one's rolling away. Mono mini jack to RCA, 3.5 to 2.5. Mono mini jack to mono plug. Another barrel connector. Alright, so here it is. I should be able to find the stuff that I need fairly easily. I know I have more adapters than this. A lot of them are currently in use, so they're not going to be available to pull out of a bin right now. But this way, when I have a project going on, I'll be able to find exactly what I need when I need it. And this is the consequence of my disorganization. Because I had lost this threaded headphone adapter, I ordered more of them. If I had bought this case earlier, I probably wouldn't have bought these. This sticker is not allowing me to see what's in here. Fixed. Sometimes, folks, you gotta adapt to your circumstances. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you to my patrons for supporting this channel, and remember, stay thrifty, everyone.